I I'll put mute on.
Why, thank you, my darling. Love it. Awesome. All right, so here we go. We are live on Facebook. We are live in our group, and welcome everybody to Friday night meditation. And today is, I'm always excited to have a session. I'm always excited about just kind of starting off our weekend with getting set up even for the next week. It's a really powerful week that's coming up this week. It's always a powerful week. I always kind of start with this, but we have we have closed the eclipse portal door, and we are sort of in this post shadow stage of Mercury retrograde. We're kind of right at this pointy end of Mercury retrograde. It's basically finished as of Monday. Sunday is kind of when it goes direct again. And so it's really powerful, in that this weekend could make us kind of feel a little bit tender. We might sort of have this sigh of relief as the energy kind of shifts and changes. It's like we kind of we're really coming to this point where we're realizing that we are the true predominant creative force in our life. And it's been beautiful just in coaching people and having meetings and just meeting people. And this is all just such divine timing, in that we're at this precipice where we have really started to realize how powerful we are as creators, but how powerful it is to truly have this belief in ourselves, this self-awareness. It's this self-responsibility that's kind of come into full circle and into play just in the way things are in the cosmos, the way things are on this journey that we've been on. And it's even people that aren't necessarily knowing and following the planets and understanding that they're urging us to, come into our truest, fullest potential. People are doing this right now. They're realizing this. They're taking out these time wasting things. They're making the most out of their time. They're discovering their true soul's purpose. And in that, they're discovering, where they're giving their power away, and where we tend to be sort of leaking those energy sources. And so this next week or so, or even until the end of the month, is kind of this closing up of this encapsulated time where we get to kind of discover any of those other things that may be holding us back from really seeing our truest, fullest potential and really feeling our truest, fullest potential. And so, this grounded energy with all these planets kind of sneaking into this Taurian stellium only gets stronger as the week goes on. We get a couple more planets joining us in there. So there's, about 6 of them by the end of this week that are all in this Taurian zodiacal stellium that just gives this groundedness and this kind of integrated power that we've been sort of waiting for, this almost full-on permission to just really kind of go for it. And that was something that was kind of lacking at the beginning of the year. So it's like this really, grounded feeling that we can actually integrate from so that we're not just reacting, so that we're not just kind of responding to the outside sources, but we're actually really taking that power in ourselves, in this self-realization, this self-awareness, and this, I want to call it self-love. It's like people are falling in love with themselves all over the place. They're finally understanding that they're worth loving. And when we feel that, we come from a different place, we react from a different place, we respond from a different place to every single person that we're around, including ourselves. We're not putting up with things that we were before. We're setting different boundaries that are not harmful, not restrictive, but actually creative. They're allowing us to see these little things that we did to survive all this time and allowing us to finally thrive. I've had some really big epiphanies over the last little while. And they've even been coming in strong in the last couple of days. And one of them that I'll share is that having to be busy all the time. It's really interesting. This week is finally coming up. My youngest daughter's now finishing her play as her last night tonight. And it's always been this. I always have this, well, after next week it'll be a little bit less crazy. After next week it'll be a little less crazy. And truly after this week it will be a little bit less crazy. And for a few moments that felt very scary for me, because it was like, well, if I don't have all these millions of things taking away my time, it was almost as though I didn't trust myself to be in charge of my own time. And I thought, wow, is that why I keep myself so darn busy all the time? Is that
You're frozen or you're muted.
is that it's weird. My thing isn't saying, oh, now it's saying unstable all of a sudden. Mercury retrograde's gonna tap in and kick me in the butt for the last few days that it's here. Is that better, Heather? I'm gonna try stopping this for just a
Yeah,
second.
yeah, it's all
Yeah,
clear.
seems to have smoothed out. Weird. Yeah, good old Mercury retrograde. We're gonna go with that. Last couple of days here. It's gonna give us some bursts. Let me know if it freezes again. It all of a sudden just said unstable. So, um, yeah, the epiphanies that are coming about when we actually take that time to really look at what is going on, because our true soul's purpose, and this is kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight, our true soul's purpose and our true soul's um, path and journey is really truly to be happy. It is to be grounded, is to be this light in the world. For most of us anyways, this is truly what we want, and this is our soul's expansion. So when we're seeing this contrast, when we're feeling things that really aren't making us feel good, it is our soul talking to us. It is our soul saying this, this isn't for your greatest journey, your greatest expansion. Maybe we need to take a little bit of a look at this. So we're going to do a bit of an exercise tonight before we kind of jump into the meditation, where we just allow anything to come to the surface in a bit of a theta state, just kind of getting into the groove of allowing the super conscious to be able to show us anything that is kind of getting in our way, just with some specific questions about our beliefs. Because, like I have said before, our beliefs are simply thought patterns that we think over and over again. And we can sometimes feel like we do believe that we love ourselves when we look at our actions, when we look at where we are, where we're feeling disgruntled, where we're feeling stuck. Sometimes that can give us a bit of an indicator of something that may just be getting in our way. And so these next few weeks are like this last opportunity to take real stock of some of these things that may be still just, either getting in our way, or maybe some of our belief patterns that we can fine tune a little bit, because this is all about fine tuning. If it's not here yet, it's because it's not quite in alignment yet. And so when we can take a moment to look at that alignment and to really allow ourselves to receive and to get in alignment with what it is that we want, we can integrate and move towards those paths that we really have been wanting to, without that resistance, without that strong, it just feels good, instead to just kind of go ahead and do what it is that we're being called to do. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. This weekend is going to be quite a beautiful and profound weekend. It's all about kind of using our talents to our advantage. We all have these seriously unique skills, and it's something that we don't need to feel guilty about. It's something that we need to finally start embracing, some of these leadership qualities that we may have, or these teaching abilities that that are stirred up underneath the surface, these talents of a lifetime, these things that have been these beautiful wisdoms that have been passed on from these past lives, instead of just the traumas, these healing abilities, these light working abilities, these things that have been in our field for so long and are just kind of ready to be tapped into. So we're gonna enjoy that a little bit in the meditation that we're gonna do this evening. And so just thinking about our life's path and purpose, tomorrow, which is Saturday, Saturn kind of comes into alignment with Mercury um, in our field, and it kind of highlights our path and purpose. So you might be finding that you maybe even became a little bit complacent coming up to this weekend. You know, Wednesday was kind of a day where we sort of felt like, Jesus, it's still not coming. It's just not coming fast enough. You know, what am I not doing? What am I doing? Gives us a moment to kind of take a look at the actions that we're taking. Are they inspired actions? Are they aligned actions? Or are they just actions that we feel that we should be taking? Or are we making these actions from a belief that, you know, that it's impossible, or that we can't have it, or that it's not meant for us, or that, you know, we're gonna really kind of dive into the reality of things. And on Sunday, when Mercury actually does go direct, it is kind of like this kind, compassionate, loving feeling that we need to really embrace. We need to kind of take a step back and just sort of be us on Sunday. We have to kind of look into this week as, you know, what can I offer? How can I be of service? How can I be in service of the light, and really let our self-love and our self-worth direct that. The way Venus comes in with Mars over Sunday to Monday, it actually kind of gives us a little bit of an energy boost, I'd like to say. It sort of gets us excited about what could be coming. It kind of gets us feeling like this transformation is happening. We're not really going into the past as much as Mercury retrograde brings us into, and even Pluto retrograde. It's not such a dredging up of the past. It's kind of like this unleashing of what's ahead of us. And this is where this self-responsibility really comes in. So this week is dialing up to be a week of, how can we be self-responsible? How can we kind of be truthful to ourselves? How can we really look at the truth? And the beauty in this path right now that we're all on is that this spiritual alignment is going to bring in the physical alignment. And so this serious upgrade that has happened on this level of people feeling the self-worth and feeling the self-love, these life experiences that we're going through, these things that we're feeling, it's kind of like watching this higher purpose unfold. It's like this life enhancing type energy that starts to sneak into the beginning of the week. And so to embrace that and to feel it and to really enjoy it and kind of understand all this that we've learned about ourselves and that we've learned about others, this gives us a chance to kind of integrate it. A lot of this stuff is usually sort of hidden and covered up, and we've sort of cleaned it all up and out and brought it up for healing and brought it up for feeling and brought it up for revealing, so that we can truly move past a lot of this stuff. You're literally able to shift a little bit more easily once this week kind of comes in. And because of everything that's happened over the last few weeks, all of this eclipse action, all of this Mercury retrograde action, all of this Taurian stellium action, all of these planets kind of coming into this grounded feeling, it's just going to give us such a boost of energy to create this life that we love, create this healthy lifestyle, this consistent, attainable, maintainable lifestyle where we're not just going off on a tangent and trying something new. We're literally making smaller steps each day that are going to be able to allow us to keep this consistency going. It's like we're turning into these true life role models, to these true life leaders without even knowing. And this happens as we go along our ascension journey. we start to just want to be clearer. We start to just want to treat ourselves a little bit better. We just want to. It just feels right. It doesn't feel right to not. And it's just almost so easy. And so to understand that this higher direction is truly unfolding right now, that these truths are coming into our field, and to be able to actually absorb them, understand them, allow them, integrate with them, to be able to actually allow these shifts to happen and to keep congruent with where we're going, to really stay focused, it's going to be profound. Now, this is where the red truck theory comes in. Whatever we are focusing on the most is going to be what grows, and that is going to be what we see. And we know this. And when we talk about what we see, visualization and imagination are so powerful. When you think about, I heard Dean Martini a few weeks ago. I was listening to something from him, and he was talking about why visualization is so important. And he made it into an analogy of, if you were in a room and you were at a club and there was 100 people or 1,000 people there, you could go through very quickly just looking at people and ascertaining whether or not you even kind of want to be in their field, whether you're attracted or not. Whether our visualization is huge. It's a huge portion of how our beliefs are set and how our values are sort of corrugated and how we actually make our choices. And so when we use visualization tools, it's profound stuff, because what we are visualizing is truly what we are creating. I mentioned last week, even the camera lens, whatever we're focusing on is going to be what develops. It's when we're not understanding that we're focusing on maybe what everyone else is doing and not ourselves. When we're giving our power away to, I can't possibly do this because my partner's not doing this, and he's got to change before I change, and giving that power away. This has been a profound shift for people over the last little while that we're really seeing happening on a huge level, where they are taking their power back, when they are understanding that it really has nothing to do with anyone else. We're making decisions about some of these relationships and whether or not they're working for us, and how we can sort of move forward with creating this life that we love, instead of being stuck on this problem style orientation, always kind of staying in that creation. So knowing that, until the end of May, we have this sort of superpower to be able to stay focused on our creations and not on our problems. We're going to be able to get through this month with setting ourselves up until the next eclipse, which is not till October. This is kind of how things are going to be running by the way we set them up this week. So it's very, very important to really check yourself this week, to make sure that you're making those choices of who you are being, not just that person that you want to be as a different end result, but who you can be right now. Being that role model, being that, what better time than now? What are we waiting for, right? We're always waiting for, like I say, I'm always waiting for the next week until things aren't so crazy, But does that week ever really come, right? It's coming now, in that I'm actually understanding that I was making things crazy to prevent myself from doing the things that I knew I needed to do. And so that would have been a pattern where I would take stuff on that I didn't need to take on, like more boards or more positions that are, just going to be draining, that potentially someone could even do a better job at. But feeling like I had to do it all. And that was a self-sabotage technique in making sure that I couldn't do it all. And I always laugh whenever I want a puppy. I know I'm on the verge of something big and I'm trying to procrastinate, because, man, if you have a puppy, it makes it very difficult to do pretty much anything. It seems like a real great idea at the time. But then, it turns out to often be a bit of a gong show, and sometimes more than you bargain for, and sometimes it's like, whose idea was this, when you go and do something like that. But I always laugh whenever I'm really like, oh, I really want a puppy, and like, oh, what am I trying to avoid, because I need a puppy like a hole in the head. It just literally now makes so much more sense to me that that is a pattern, that I always transferred it over into the care of others. Taking care of a puppy allows me to not take care of myself properly. Taking care of my kids, in such an intense way, allows me to not take care of myself properly. And so now I'm kind of excited to take care of myself properly and to make myself this project, to be to have my inner spirit guide be my puppy, to be the one that really is shifting this energy over into my inner spirit, into my true path, into my soul, right? Knowing that we are really a part of it all, we're not separate, has really come in such an honest and thought-provoking and beautiful way, where it wasn't tragic. It wasn't that something had to completely stop me in my tracks. I'm able to actually ascertain some of this information on my own, just by slowing down and actually revealing some of this truth, and allowing it to be the healing that needs to happen. So this sort of high vibe energy is coming in. We can access visions a little bit easier. So really allowing yourself to visualize this week, having a lot of fun with visualizations, especially Monday. It's going to be a very visually advanced day. So to really be able to see your higher self is why we're going to do this meditation tonight. It's almost kind of like this little cosmic second chance that we get by about midweek, as Mercury has totally gone direct, that post shadow phase that happens for 2 weeks after. It's kind of like an assistant, a little like a personal coach that's there to just kind of help you through your daily life, just showing you some of these ways that you are now assimilating. It's not just gathering information anymore. It's now assimilating. It's now all of this information that you've gotten over this eclipse season. It's allowing you to actually kind of have this cosmic second chance to really conclude, to really wrap up any of that lingering stuff that you didn't get time to sort out during Mercury retrograde or the eclipse doorways, or it's really allowing us to kind of have this oasis of calm that's happening after, so that we can actually be still, not stress out about it, but just understand what's inside of us, because our consciousness has really advanced. It has leveled up. We have been reaching these new levels of resilience, levels of awareness, and we need to congratulate ourselves. We need to take a few moments to be able to say, man, I have come a long way. Like, this has been absolutely incredible. All of these answers are just going to be sort of flowing in, and know that you are this beloved soul of the light. You are this beloved light worker, this teacher that's just going to create more ripples of good on this planet. And understanding finally how we can do that, how we just our emission of higher vibrations and love, how that can affect people on a daily basis, and how it does, really. If you think about it, if you were put in a situation and you had to react, and you reacted from a place of frustration or anger, or even a place of lack of self-worth, or feeling, believing that you couldn't really help someone, you're going to be able to help them so much more from a place of really believing in yourself that you can truly make a difference for them, that you have truly made a difference in your own life, and really finally believing that, for some of us, the first time ever. So knowing that this week is going to be really big, kind of having some big shifts, really allowing the physical part by Wednesday, Thursday to start to really kind of integrate. So this spiritual journey that we've been on is going to become a bit more of a physical journey. And as our soul and our spirit have aligned, our body can follow. And this is where we'll have these insights about our health. We'll have these insights about these things that we just, maybe finally need to do for ourselves, maybe finally want to do for ourselves with kindness and compassion, and wanting to be that person that our soul knows we can be. So this is going to be, it's going to be a real catalytic time of moving us onto this path of being our true nature and purpose. And so when we get to become this role model for others, when we get to become this role model for ourselves, even, it becomes more striking, it becomes more imperative to keep that going, because we now no longer want to let ourselves down. Before, we were almost even, I know for myself, I would be okay with letting myself down, but I really didn't want to let others down. And I'm really feeling I feel like one of the first times ever, really feeling as though I deserve more. I need to not be letting myself down, and seeing how that just ripples out to others. It's really pretty amazing. Now, this has all had to come in divine timing, and in the way that it was intended. But it's so imperative to really allow yourself to continue doing this work, to continue asking what it is that your inner self needs, asking what it is that's stopping you, asking, is this serving me? Asking, what does my body need right now? And kind of diving back into some of those earlier modalities. I've got so much stuff out there, between Chaos to Clarity and Shift Your Frequency and all these little programs that we've run at partial times. I really feel like kind of getting back into that breath work, getting back into the grounding ourselves, getting back into really getting in touch with our bodies. And so we'll likely be doing just some more fun and new breath work type of things. But to just give yourself a few minutes a day of doing something along the lines of, I love taking 2 breaths in and then 1 out. So you just do that you breathe in through your nose, 2 breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You can get into yogic position. You can have your palms up on your knees, just kind of getting in touch with yourself, even for just 1 minute a day, where you're moving this energy through your body, especially if you're feeling a little bit unclear, feeling like your decision-making capacity isn't there, whatever it is, allowing yourself to be that full-time coach for yourself, to be able to go, you know what, maybe it's time to just do a little breath work. Maybe it's time to just do a little bit of moving your body. Maybe it's time to just take a few moments and get aligned here, get corrected, get how do you want to feel? What are you focusing? What is that red truck you're looking for? If I was a mother that just, I would say I was 35 and had a few kids that were under the age of 5, I'm going to see all sorts of things in my field that will allow me to be a better mom, if that's what I'm choosing. If I'm an artist and I'm working on something and I'm trying to discover a new way of sharing my work, I'm going to all of a sudden see these things. Whatever we are looking at is going to be what we see. So what do we want to see? Do we want to see those things? Do we want to see, do we want to be focused on ways that we can reach more people? Do we want to be focused on ways that we can help more people? Do we want to be focused on, what are we focused on? If we're focused on the lack of or scarcity of, or on a lower vibration frequency, that law of attraction is just going to bring in more of that. So really, to stay cognizant of our red truck, what it is that we are focusing on, what it is that we are looking for. And we do that with our imagination, what we are seeing, what we are wanting, what we are being clear about, what we are feeling, what our emotions are like. But biggest of all is what we truly believe. So I want to talk about our beliefs for just a moment. And I want you to think about something that maybe you find a little bit uncomfortable, or something that is a bit of a discomfort in your life, something that you would just like to change, something that you would just, really like to see be different, something that maybe because this week has been bringing up those things that, geez, I thought I'd be further along right now. What does that mean to you? What is it? If you could say this was I always have my little rose quartz, which is hot today, by the way. If this was my magic wand and I could just wrap my hands around it and I could go boop, if I could change one little thing right now, what would that be? Just one thing. And I want you to just think about that and throw it in the chat for me if you want. Think about it. You can write it down, something that you just wish was a little bit different. If you just had a magic wand and you could just go boop, what would that be? And I'm just going to check on Facebook too to see if there's any messages there. Okay, so financial abundance. Financial abundance is something that's a really good one to work on. Someone may say, I want to quit smoking. I want to have greater health. I want to get through these health problems. I just wish my body was totally healthy. We can break that down a little bit. We can look at the beliefs around that. We can, say it was financial abundance. It's just, I've been manifesting, I've been taking action, but it's just not happening yet. Little things like that. Letting go of family patterns. Yes. So some of these old family patterns. So when we look at that, let's just unpack that for a moment. Say it is family patterns or financial abundance. Those are good ones to kind of go on. If we were to unpack that a little bit, what would you say that your belief is about that? Are they stronger than us? Are they too ingrained? It's impossible to, to change those. It's what are your beliefs about that? Even with financial abundance, say, what is it what is it that's working for you? What is it that's maybe even keeping you from creating that? What is it that is stopping you? And just take a moment and just take a nice deep breath and just ground yourself a little bit and just kind of ask out in the field, is there something that this is serving? Is there something that this is doing for me? Is there something, because this is an unconscious belief, right? So it's keeping us safe in some way. What safety is there in these family patterns? And just think about that for a moment and just have your moment where you just ask yourself that. What is being in scarcity? What is not having enough money doing for me? How is that benefiting me? How is having these old family patterns, how is it benefiting me? And we may realize, right? Sometimes we can't think of anything and it's like, oh, I don't know. But usually the first thing, that first thought that comes in is that is ready to be healed, that is ready to be seen. And that's the beauty of the subconscious work and doing this work in general, is that we don't have to go on that huge dig looking for that, exact issue. It comes. And so it isolates us, right? It's a way of keeping us safe. And then we look at that and it's like at one point, isolating was something that we needed to keep us safe because maybe we didn't trust ourselves. So ask yourself again, what does isolated do for me? What is isolating myself? How does that benefit me? And it's hard to think with financial abundance, well, geez, I've had people say, it's really not benefiting me. I don't think there's anything beneficial about being broke, but it's like going further. What is it that was benefiting you at some point? And the thought may come up. The thought may come up for you. Maybe it's that, I love that, not being hurt again. Huge, right? If you're not putting yourself out there, you're not going to be hurt. With financial abundance, if you're not going to go for it, you can't fail. You're not going to lose it because you ain't going to have it in the first place. So it keeps you safe, right? It's these beautiful moments that I have goosebumps just allowing that to move through, allowing that to move through. And we make these little vows and make these contracts with ourselves. I will never be hurt like that again. I will never put myself into that position again. And that can end up not putting ourselves in any position again because we're isolating ourselves, right? So when we start to really kind of look at the benefit of that, we realize that it's really not helping us, not on our soul's path, not on our soul's journey. So what does that mean? What is the opposite of that? What is something that we could choose, a belief that we could choose? Because we know the beliefs are thoughts that are repeated. So we've obviously repeated these thoughts enough that we have created this belief. We've created this belief that, we want to prevent ourselves from ever being disappointed again. We want to prevent ourselves from ever being so disappointed in ourselves that we let ourselves down again. We don't want to be disappointed by someone else again. It's interesting when we really start thinking about this stuff. So what is a belief that could be completely opposite of this belief that we have, this kind of safety mechanism in this stagnation that we have? What is being stuck in this really truly going to do for us? How would this really truly benefit us? And when we really break it down a little bit more, we usually come up with the fact that we're ready to create a new belief. And this new belief could be something that is completely opposite of, say, we don't need to keep ourselves isolated. I'm ready to get out there. Whatever feels right. I want you to think of a belief that you could start integrating into your daily life, into your new thought patterns, into the way we want to think. And really, if we muscle test it, this is how we know if this is actually true, right? So we can trust ourselves. We can go into our true nature and purpose, go into that most predominant, creative, powerful force in our lives, and actually trust and muscle test, is this something that's been really holding me back? Am I ready to release this? And ask yourself if you're ready to release this. My body's giving me a big yes right now on this, just ready to release this, hoping to avoid disappointment, this judgment, right? We don't want to be judged. Being wealthy, having tons of financial abundance. I found myself last week even going, well, that wouldn't be very humble. That wouldn't be, I found myself judging myself in accepting certain things, or even picturing myself to be this, fully abundant soul with all the money in the world. It was like, it didn't feel like a part of me. And when I really delved into it, I could understand a little bit more why. So is this something that has been your identity up until now? And are you ready to make it so? Are you ready to make a new belief out of this belief that we have had, that, that we may be judged or perhaps even neglected? Or, are we willing to make a new decision? Are we willing to create a life where we may put ourselves out there to be judged a little bit? Maybe we can start to think, who really cares what other people think? I'm done neglecting myself, and I'm done judging myself. I am the powerful creator in my life, and I refuse to judge and neglect myself anymore, right? So how can we turn that around? How can we make that a new belief? And we don't want negatives in this new belief. We want to be able to really pick, and this is what an end choice is really, right? Choosing that end result of living a life we love. But what I want to do is choose it now, not just the end result of living a life you love, but actually, how can I live and love my life right now? How can I choose to not worry about being judged? How can I choose to not worry, be worrying about the money that's in the account versus the money that's coming? How can I choose, right? So you can choose, yes, I choose whoever I want in my life. I choose who I allow in, not the opposite anymore. I choose to be around people who want to watch me grow. I choose to be around people who have a higher vibration than I do. I choose to be around people who show me my light. I choose to be around people who um, judge me with love, or I choose to be around people who I connect with. Just really choosing this, just really allowing this. I choose to focus on what's coming and not what is. I choose to allow myself to be my truest nature and purpose. So let's get into a little meditation. Let's go have some fun in this visualization, in this reality with, just bringing some of this up, just bringing up some of this stuff that we're ready to see, feel, hear, and really choosing where it is that we're going, what we're going to focus on, what we're going to bring into our reality, and allowing ourselves to kind of go back to this every day a little bit. Just, I was joking last week in my group about making it in a different voice, like, I choose whoever I want. My life, I just choose it. It's up to me. It's up to me. Have this different accent, have a different voice, make a song, make a dance out of it, make it so that it sticks, make it so that you feel it. Sometimes when we say, I choose whoever I want in my life, it's like, yeah. But when you say it with feeling, when you say it with, I choose whoever I want in my life. I choose whoever I want in my life. I choose whoever I want. It's what I want in my life. None of this stragglers anymore. Hanging on. I choose it. It gives you this, like, it changes your state. It changes that energy. It sets it in that subconscious level, in that subconscious mind. You're not just writing it. You're not just, journaling. You're feeling it. You're setting these new beliefs in. You're coding these up in your system. And we get to choose what we code up, right? So we get to have this true nature and purpose just show up in our lives every day. And once it starts doing that, you start to recognize it, and you start to see it, and you bring in more of it and more of it, until all of a sudden you're not even needing to medicate yourself for things anymore. You're not wanting to escape anymore. This is how I've seen people completely change their diet, their lifestyle, their exercise, their drinking habits, their drug habits, their addictions in everything, just because they're getting more focused and clear on what it is that they want, without all those things kind of dragging us back. So bring a new belief in. Yeah. Oh, that feels good. Choosing people you just resonate with an open heart. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I just choose to resonate with people that have these open hearts. And this is what's happened over this last little while. I'm glad you said that, because this heart chakra has done a lot of healing. And this is why we're able to actually see things in the way that we are right now, and do things in the way that we are right now, and push forward with the way things that are right now, because our heart chakra has done some of this healing. We have done this work. We have ascended. We have come into this self-love because we are this open heart. And this is how the law of attraction works, because we are this open heart. We are going to be emitting that to the world, and we are just going to be seeing more and more of that. So when you're looking for that every day, when that is your red truck, you're just going to see it in every way. I was experimenting with whooshing people, I was calling it, last week, just at the grocery store, random places, people that had these open hearts. I could feel it when I was beside them, and I would just whoosh them with energy and love, and I would just send this love, and I would give them a smile, and like it was like they weren't even looking at me, and all of a sudden they'd turn around and just smile, and it was like we had this energetic connection without saying a word. And this is it, just having fun experimenting with that versus being out going, oh, I hate people, I hate shopping, I just want this to be over. It's a really different feeling just going out in life like this, and it's just so much fun. So I'm just going to guide us through a little meditation. We're just going to allow ourselves to really see this highest, truest nature and purpose, this visualization of where we are going and what we are about to create. And so I would encourage you to just get as comfortable as possible. Allow yourselves to just ground, to just feel your feet touching the earth, feel your bottom touching your chair, feeling your back, whatever it is that may be connecting with Earth's gravitational forces right now, and just allowing yourself to tap into the universal energy. And just in your mind's eye, just say to yourself, I just choose to embrace my true nature and purpose. I just choose to go on this journey right now. And we'll just bring in the super conscious to sort of treat anything in the field as we just choose to create this life that we love. When we choose to create a life with people in it that resonate, that are in alignment with us, that have this open heart, that we can both be of service to and also receive from, these equalized relationships, these beautiful soul enhancing, soul journey partners that we're ready to just embrace into our life, these soul expansion partners, and truly embracing the soul expansion of ourselves, and this love, this admiration for ourselves, this adoration of ourselves that we're finally ready to feel. And I want you to just connect with those feelings. Just choose to allow those into your life right now. And tapping into Earth's grid, Earth's crystalline grid that's so far beneath us and all the way around us. It's almost as though you can feel yourself connecting with the Earth's energy, tapping down through little roots that are starting to grow through the layers, down deep into that wisdom of the earth and into the true matrix of the universe, where we're destined to go, where we're headed to go, where we are already right now, and choosing to see the expansiveness that we've created in our lives, to truly embrace the work that we've done, how far we've come, and to just want more, to just want to be on this journey of soul expansion, mind, body, and soul connection, true healing in every way. And right now, imagine that the top of your head is almost, mine's itching right now as it's just starting to open. This crown chakra at the very top of your head is starting to open up to the sun's energy. The sun's energy is what really gives us our soul's purpose. It's our light, and it's so strong right now. It's the strongest that it will be until about the end of May. Even the intensity of the sun is stronger than it will likely be all year. If you go out right now, you're almost guaranteed to get a burn or some color. You'll feel that sun's power. My poor white horse has a sunburnt nose right now, just because the sun is so bright right now. And I want you to feel that sun just starting to blast onto your body, starting to expand every cell in your crown chakra, just opening it up to all of life's possibilities, the spiritual realm, the soul's journey that we're on, that we're going on together as a collective and as a unified field, allowing the soul's energy to be charged up by the sun as it just starts to integrate and be brought into our whole energy field. And allow this whole top of your energy field to start sparking and start being energized and start opening and start balancing, start creating, feeding any of those cells. any of those cells that are still on this feeding of this energy from the sun. Just allow it to just seep into every cell of your body as you feel it start to come down your face and relaxing every single muscle in your face. Relaxing all those muscles in the forehead and around your eyes and your cheeks and your jaw and your ears as your third eye starts to expand and open, as the glands and the little crystals start to expand. Connecting with the body in such a way that you start to feel these rhythms, these natural rhythms of the body. We have a neurological rhythm, we have a craniosacral rhythm, a circulatory rhythm, an energetic rhythm. And noticing that they beat, they pump through our body. Sometimes around every 6 to 8 seconds, there's this little sort of flutter or flush that happens through our energetic body, through our cells. As everything starts to regulate, our craniosacral fluid starts to regulate throughout all our cells, in between each joint and our skull bones, as it starts to regulate, to pump, to reset, as we allow this beautiful sun's energy to start coming down in through our throat, just allowing us to shine, allowing us to speak our truth, to hear our truth, to feel our truth, and allowing it to expand down even further down into our heart chakras as we just allow that sun's energy to feed, nourish, re-energize, recalibrate any of our cells that need it in around the heart chakra. Some of those painful things that we've been going through over the last few weeks, as we've been uncovering the rug, as we've been lifting it up and sweeping up piles and noticing some of these pains, some of these feelings, just allowing yourself in this space right now to feel anything else that you may feel has been stopping you, and to just ask yourself, is there something I've been doing that's stopping my progression? Is there something that I've actually been doing in action that's creating more resistance? And just noticing the first thing that comes in to your subconscious field right now, into this superconscious realm, as you ask yourself, is there anything I've been doing to keep myself safe? And ask yourself if this has been benefiting you in any way. Is it honoring anybody? Is it honoring yourself? Is it honoring your soul's true expansion? And if it's not, I want you to make these commitments, these promises to yourself in your heart chakra, in your heart space, to expand, to release any fears, to release any judgments. And superconscious, please tag any fears around being judged, any fears about losing love, any fears about not hanging on to it, any fears about getting it in the first place. Tagging and treating all of that in the field, creating the most amount of satisfaction and the least amount of pain and time wasting, in this new belief that we're ready to create, of just holding ourselves accountable, holding ourselves in a space where we are the true predominant creative force in our life. And allow the sun's energy to start coming down into your solar plexus, just noticing your whole body start to expand as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, deflating your whole body, just allowing space, releasing any dense energy, releasing any pain from the body, superconscious tagging and treating any of that dense energy, doing a massive change history around all this dense energy on these upper 3 chakras. And as we come into that solar plexus, I want you to start imagining your truest, highest self. I want you to visualize your face, your eyes, as your truest, highest version of yourself, as this person that you are already becoming, that you have started to become. And just notice the expansion of this and allowing. Ooh, I just got a nice shift of frequency in my ears, especially in my left. Noticing any past patterns that would have kept us safe, that would have kept us Perhaps we didn't feel safe in our own bodies, and just feeling this into the solar plexus, tagging and treating feeling safe in your own body, trusting yourself with your own body, trusting yourself to feel that love. Perhaps at one moment you allowed yourself to do this and it all got taken away. Tagging and treating that taking away, and doing a massive change history on that. Bringing all of our parts together as we move down into that sacral plexus, bringing all of these parts, these personalities, these defragmentations, these parts of self, these fears, these safety nets we created, and barriers that we put up around ourselves, these walls that we put up around ourselves. And choosing to just see some of these walls start to crumble away, start to shift away, start to break out of, like an old shell. Feeling some of these protective devices, protective barriers start to come away with such clarity in knowing that you're safe, in trusting your own heart, in trusting your own soul's expansion. Tagging and treating anything in the sacral area, all the muscle memory, all the organs, all those gut-wrenching, painful experiences that we would have packed down, and even into some past lives. And going down into the root chakra, a lot of these familial patterns, a lot of these patterns that we did take on, I want you to take a bit of a magnifying glass down to that root chakra right now, and I want you to notice the top 3 emotions that come up when we think of keeping ourselves safe, keeping ourselves constricted, hiding away from people, hiding away from judgment. I want you to think about those emotions right now. And I want you to muscle test on those emotions that come up. Is it fear that's stopping you? And you'll be getting a strong yes or no. Noticing those emotions come up, and just with a muscle test, knowing that this is the emotion that's ready to be treated, simply ask and command that this emotion be treated on a cellular, spiritual, and body level, tagging and treating all of that in the field and doing a massive change history on those emotions. And noticing a time or an age. And you can even ask yourself this: was I over 40? Was I over 30? Was I over 20? Was I over 15? You can go right back to the point where you get a strong yes. And then ask for that visualization of that issue, that emotion that was stirred up at that point. And choose to just see how you felt at that point. Choose to feel that emotion. And just notice what that part of you needs to hear right now, needs to see, or needs to feel. With all this wisdom that you have now, what could you tell that part of you that had that emotion? And what other choice could you make? Choose to tell that part right then and there that you can actually choose to have the emotion of empowerment. You can choose to stay strong. You can choose to embody light. You can choose to take care of yourself. You can choose to make it different. Allow that emotion to be felt, but allow yourself to choose this new emotion going forward. Perhaps you don't know an age. Perhaps this is all the way back from the womb. Perhaps this is even in a past life. If you can't think of an age, if the age doesn't muscle test, even if you're getting a no, it's often a past life. And just choose to allow this to be healed in the field right now, tagging and treating this emotion, this healing, doing a massive change history around that in the field in any way that's needed. Any part of us that's been creating this resistance to just moving forward, tagging and treating all of that in the field, any original event, any experience that was causing these feelings, these emotions, these boundaries, these walls to be put up, tagging and treating all of that in the field right now and doing a massive change history on that. And I want you to just imagine right now that you are in the most beautiful forest, that you are in this lush green field of trees, of just absolute greenery. Like you can't be any more encompassed by greenery than might be just a trail, a small trail for you to walk on. And I want you to notice that this trail is leading you to your true nature and purpose, and you can see it so clearly. And I want you to right now envision your true nature and purpose, who you are meant to be here to serve, who you are on a deeper level than you've ever imagined before, than you've ever let yourself see. You are a true being of light. You are a true soul star. Perhaps you're an indigo child. Perhaps you're a crystal child. Perhaps you are a thought leader, a healer, an inventor. I want you to visualize this truly expanded version of yourself right now. Imagine going ahead a year with what you've already learned, with the amount that you've already come in such a short time. Imagine another year from now, really staying focused on who you want to be, on this life you are creating, on what you want to focus on being happy for people, on noticing if you're judging. We emit who we are. And so who are we being? Are we being that leader? Are we doing the things that we say that we're doing? This is the time to integrate this fully and allow yourself to see this. Allow yourself to visualize this greater expanded version of you, the one that already is, but just amplified and intensified, and allow yourself to see this now. What does it look like? Who would be around you? What kind of house are you living in? Are you still in your place? Maybe things haven't shifted that much, but you're just staying true to yourself. Notice what this looks like. Allow yourself to play in the field and ask the superconscious to just show you an action step to move closer towards this alignment of being that truly creative force in your life, the one that has all the power, the one that knows what you know now. And imagine what you're going to know in a year of still doing this work and continuing this soul expansive journey. Just imagine. Tagging and treating any resistance to that, doing a massive change history. And just staying in this beautiful green space, this wonderful frequency. We can live in this frequency. It's a beautiful matrix energetics frequency. It's a beautiful state to just be in and surrounded by this gorgeous rainforest or woodland, mountain woodlands, whatever it might be. Notice any pain, any denseness, any energy, any beliefs that you're ready to finally shift and get rid of. Extracting the wisdom from that, taking the wisdom on of how this belief kept you safe. and how you're ready to shift it. And again, notice a spirit animal that is just coming away to take away this old shell, to take away some of these bricks from the wall, to take away some of this actual physical pain, and this incorporate and instill this healing in your body. Just noticing what animal may be coming for you to help you along your way. Taking a few nice deep receiving breaths. Staying grounded in this beautiful green energy. Just want you to notice anything else you can notice about your true nature and purpose, who you're meant to be, what you're meant to do, how you're of service to this wonderful world that we're in, and how you can be of best service to yourself to create this on a daily basis and do a massive change history. Integrating all parts, bringing them on board. Grounding all of these wisdoms and teachings into the matrix of the universe and into memories and timelines 1, 2, and 3, all past, present, and future timelines, parallel universes, and levels of dimensions. Doing a massive super recode on anything else in the field that needs it. And when you're ready, you can just come on back. And I want you to think of these new beliefs, think of these choices that you've made, write them down, repeat them daily, make it up in a funny voice. Just really have fun with it. It starts to be a belief. It starts to be a thought that we create over and over again, which will turn into a belief. It's retraining the brain. And taking that inspired action, taking that aligned action, if it's not really feeling good, it may not be that path of least resistance. Sometimes we do have to do things like hang on to certain parts of things just to create balance, but what can we expand into to truly allow our true nature and purpose to be seen, felt, and heard? Because over these next few weeks, we're going to be seeing this, not only because we're dialing our camera in to focus on it, but we're cosmically supported to truly see this right now. Oh, broke a sweat. That's so beautiful. When we're belief recoding, it actually heats up some of the toxins in the body to be able to release. It's such a beautiful thing. I've often had people say, is it hot in here? Like, what is going on? It actually allows your body to release that. That was a belief. That was some proteins breaking down and building up, baby. That was awesome. I love it. Yeah, I felt some good emotions coming through there, and just some big whooshes and waves and tingles, and like real whenever I'm working on something big in the field, it's like it's hard to describe, but it's like I feel pins and needles almost coming from my fingers, and they were sparking, boy. It was beautiful. So I apologize for going a little bit over time. I really do appreciate you guys being here with me. If you have any questions or anything, by all means, always reach out. And with that, I will send you on your way into a beautiful weekend where you are going to be getting some fun answers. It's going to be really neat. Coming into our creative predominant force over the last few weeks is shifting into this true nature and purpose. And so asking these questions, getting these answers, and really diving into this in very small incremental aligned ways is going to be so big. It's like slipstream. Have a very happy Mother's Day to all our mamas out there. Thank you, Heather. Yes, happy Mother's Day. Make it a good one. This is up to you. You know, it's not up to anybody and what they do. Do what you feel like doing that day. Do what you enjoy. And if things are getting to be where you're actually finding that you're not enjoying it, take the time to check in with yourself on what it is that doesn't feel good. These things are really just made to show us exactly the things that we need to be able to, I don't want to say overcome, but really shift and move through over these next few weeks. Because by the time June, July come in, it's just going to be such receiving energy and just such an onward flux of this stuff that we've been waiting to see in the physical realm. So get ready. Next week, new moon, going to be some big manifesting stuff going on. So I can't wait for that. And we'll see you guys on Monday in group. So thank you. Mwah. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Have an amazing day, everybody.